Do you know what? I'm so ready. I'm so ready to do this. Many years ago, when I lived in Birmingham, when I first moved to the United Kingdom, so this would have been back in 2000, 2001. Chris and I weren't even married yet. That's how long ago this was. Hang on, I'm just having a sip of my coffee. God, I can't wait till it's my own coffee beans. I was given the opportunity to make a demo for Sky TV. I was given the opportunity to make a demo for a show that would rival Most Haunted, which I believe at the time was on Living TV. And I never made it because my ex talked me out of it as usual. He sabotaged all my attempts to get my name out there, because the one thing he doesn't want more than anything in the world is me being famous before him, or more famous, or famous when he's not famous. But every attempt that I had to get into TV, movies, radio, that sort of thing, he sabotaged. Well, not movies, just TV and radio. He sabotaged. He did something to put spinners in the works so that I lost the opportunity. So yeah, he used my body dysmorphia. Well, don't you know the TV's going to add 10 pounds, and it's not that I'm being mean, but you have low confidence and you're not there with your body. You have issues with your self-esteem. You're going to look fatter on TV than you will in real life, and then I'm going to have to live with it, that sort of thing. And he talked me out of doing it. And I'm kicking myself, because it's like, imagine how far I could have gone with it. However, as an ascension scientist and a woman of God now, I know that when people do things, when they think they're sabotaging you, when they think that I stopped her from being with that man she loves and I ruined their relationship, sort of thing, they're not punishing you, they're not ruining your life, they're actually closing the door to paths you were never meant to go down. And so God, or the universe, your ancestors, whoever you believe in, puts these quote unquote karmics in your life to make them sin or commit one of the cardinal sins, vices, sort of thing, to stop you from going down a path or being with someone you were never meant to go down, or to hold you back because it wasn't the right time. Now, the way Chris went about it sucks, because he messed with my mental state, but I didn't even know I was a victim of domestic abuse. That's how good at what he was at messing with my mind. But even after he sabotaged my radio career in Chicago at WRMN 1410 in the Fox Valley in Chicago, even with him and Martin and that sabotaging that, I knew then it's because it wasn't the right time for me to step into that foray. Now I know that he did all of these things because I wasn't ready. There was still so much I had to learn, and I had to go back to God, because once I went back to God, he was going to open the doors to the supernatural in a way that was going to blow everything I thought I knew out of the water, so that I could tear it all down and build it back up again with the science and the knowledge and the faith that I have now. And now I'm like a supernatural powerhouse. So now I'm ready to make my radio shows and my TV shows, and with my confidence in the way I look and my appearance, and with my sister helping be my stylist in that, I'm not afraid to go in front of the camera now, although I still plan on making my TV shows, quote unquote, where it's not about me being on the camera, though I will be on camera. I'm not going to be like always on the camera, because in the kind of work that I do, you miss a lot by talking, or you don't get to experience what I do if you're only looking at me. There are some places I go to, like a lot of National Trust places and that, where you need to be focusing on what I'm looking at and not me. So even though I will be on camera at times, you will see me in each episode at times. It's not going to be like with Yvette Fielding and that where I'm like shoved up to the camera, because for me it's about the science and the world that I pull you into when you watch what it is I'm creating is so hypnotic that if you just see pure white skin and big boobs and all that sort of thing, you're not going to be focusing on the science. And I'm trying to educate people, to teach people the difference between the paranormal and the supernatural. In the time that I've been making these shows over the last few months around Yorkshire and Lancashire, I've sort of been delving into it since Fountains Abbey, since my boys and I documented that experience in Fountains Abbey, which is up on my Instagram and all of that. And going to the National Trust places, I fell in love with the history of like Yorkshire and Lancashire and all that, because it's so old and there's so much that goes on here, paranormally and supernaturally and occult based in that. It's like I could probably spend a good year making TV shows just in Yorkshire and Lancashire, because there's so much that's gone on here, and there's so many historical buildings, and even places that aren't on the National Trust, like just random deserted farms and that. There are things gone on there that I could absolutely investigate and make into shows. I always say to God, like, when we leave the United Kingdom, can I at least have long enough to be able to drive around and go to some of these places that I want to make shows in? I think that I can put a lot of demons to rest. I can lay a lot of demons to rest and put a lot, heal a lot of skeletons in historical closets in the United Kingdom that only I can do. I fill the blanks with history. I answer questions that people haven't been able to answer for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years, because of the things that I have access to as a time jumper and a cult physicist. So I'm just having a sip of my coffee. The last one went cold. So yeah, I'd never. Yeah, I'm ready to put my shows on TV. I'm ready to plant that seed. I mean, I'd never work for anyone like Netflix. I'd never sign up to anything like Netflix and that. But I think that now that I'm the finished product, the end result of all my years of hard work and training and discipline and all that, I'm ready to put myself out there and have my shows, like my TV shows. And I haven't got my streaming service up yet, so I'd have to rely on like terrestrial TV and streaming services and that. But I think I'm ready. I don't think, I know I'm ready. I'm chomping at the bit. I want to show people my world, because my world is fascinating. It's scientific. It's awesome. It's fun. You learn without even knowing you're learning. I already know that I've made a huge impact on the YouTube tarot reading world. I'm already seeing my influence and my teachings and that starting to bleed through. And a lot of the people that I'm watching for, with the purpose of offering them jobs at my witchcraft school. So it's getting out there. I'm having influence on people and I love it. And it's like now, if only the mainstream would sit down and watch my shows, people would sit down thinking I was going to be like Most Haunted and get to the end of the show with their mouths just like on the floor. So, because I know people do that watching me anyway. But imagine, well, like I always used to say, many years ago, need to put a GoPro on my head so that I can record my everyday life, because people wouldn't believe my life was real unless it was on camera. No fake, no staged, no, perfect editing, no retakes, no pretending like it's just happened for the first time when they've had to, retake it over and over. No guys in the background throwing things behind the camera to make it look like spooks, no fake stuff. You know, Ghost Adventurers, Most Haunted, they've all been caught out faking stuff. Mine would be 100% real because I'm not allowed to lie. And what I would really dearly love is I mean, I will absolutely go to famous paranormal places, famous places where paranormal things took place or supernatural events took place. But I would love it if average, ordinary, everyday people contacted me and said, I live at a pub, I live in a flat above the pub, or I live in a house that was built in the 1980s, but this is happening and that's happening and we don't know why, or can you come in because like my kids are seeing things and it's freaking me out and this keeps happening, and I want to help, I want to investigate and help the ordinary, average, everyday person, their businesses, their children, their properties, whatever. Because there's only so much you can do with famous places. When I investigate famous places, it would be to shut the propaganda down. And because that's the difference between, would have been the difference between me and Most Haunted, is that unlike Most Haunted and Ghost Adventurers and all of that, I would be investigating it, telling you what it is, and then shutting it down. Because of my clays and sprays and products and that, I can show everyone how to shut it down. If this happens, just do this. If this happens, spray this, and it'll stop. And this is why it's happening, and blah, blah, blah. So that the place will never be paranormally active again. And if it is, people will know exactly what to do to stop it so that they're not afraid. Or if it's something that can't be stopped because, like, it's by water, like the properties by water, because it's really hard to shut paranormal supernatural things down when places are next to water, because water is the element of intuition and the psychic and the psyche and the deepest part of your psychological mind. Now the thing is, the mistake that people make with zodiac signs, is that the air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, they are the rulers of the mind and communication. But what people don't understand about Scorpios is we're the rulers of the deepest recesses of the mind, because we rule death, birth, the occult, and resurrection or regeneration. So we're the deepest feeling water sign because we go all the way to the underworld. We're not afraid to go there to show our deepest, rawest feelings, thoughts, and emotions. We're not afraid to go there because we know that in that suffering, in that death, in that grief, in exposing that part of ourselves, it creates healing and regeneration, and we get to rise from it. Scorpios thrive on tower moments because we know that when stuff gets taken away, when karmics come in to, you know, stop your progress, when relationships end and that sort of thing, when people die, we're not afraid to go there with our emotions. We express our emotions on a deep level. Unlike any other sign in the zodiac, Scorpios are the ones who aren't afraid to go there, because we're the emotion that's so deep, we get in your head. And even though air signs rule the mind and communication, Scorpios rule the psychological mind. We rule the parts of your mind that are broken. We rule the parts of your mind that are unhealed, that are based in trauma. See, because we're the underworld, so we go right down there. We go right to your birth and your pregnancy and your conception, and you know, we rule karma as well. So we rule the karmic realms of your parents and grandparents and ancestors and that, and no other sign does that. The other water signs like Pisces, they rule the psychic, they rule the intuitive, right? But fish can only go so far in the water. Fish can only go so deep, whereas Scorpios go to the underworld. We're like the core of the earth. And crabs are like the surface between the water and the underworld. So they rule empathy and guidance and compassion. that's Cancer, and Pisces rule the psychic and intuition. But they're surface. Pisces are the ones that deal with everyday matter of fact stuff. Cancers rule the things like teaching, nursing, anything where empathy, being empathic, and like counselling, that's Cancer. Whereas Scorpio, we cut out the bullshit and just go straight to your past life, how you died, why your mind is suffering, why you're dealing with paranormal activity, your grief, your traumas, your deepest, rawest emotions that your psychological mind can't deal with on the surface. That's us. And so when I go in there with these shows, I'm able to pick apart things with these people that they didn't even know was there, that they don't even realise they're the reason why it's happening, or pick apart the surface layer of things, historical events that happened on the property or on the land. I'm able to get in there and like dig really deep to get in there that no other sign can. We feel on the deepest levels. We force people to go there emotionally, that they weren't looking to go to, but they go to anyway with us because we just have this natural way of dragging people to the underworld and forcing them to heal. But it's for their own good, and only those who refuse to do the work will find what we are a threat, because nobody wants to admit they have flaws. Nobody wants to admit that there's parts of themselves that are broken, whereas a Scorpio will just go there. And this is what we need to heal. When I go to these places where there's paranormal and supernatural activity, whether it's a famous location or a National Trust place or not, hang on a sec. I can go there and lay a lot of ghosts to rest. I can heal a lot of Great Britain on the surface level by delving deep into the underbelly of their history and their culture, which means I would be bringing calm. People would have peace. People would find peace once I left, which is why I'm ready to make these shows. I want nothing more for people to be able to contact me and say, hey, look, I just live over in Bradford, because that actually happened to me. I went to a woman's house. It was up originally, but I took it down because I didn't know how to edit their faces out, because I can't work technology to save myself. So I need people that know how to edit stuff. Excuse me. So, I live in Leeds, I live in a place in Lancashire, I live in blah, and then me and my driver be like, right, we're there. And then spend the day, the night, whatever, investigating, putting it into a show, seeing what I say, doing what I do. I'll catch paranormal stuff and be able to immediately, oh no, that's just because of that, or yeah, that's happening because of this, and then when you have no fear, nothing can get in your head, because darkness feeds on fear. And whether it's your darkness, whether it's the demons hiding in the recesses of your mind, which being a Scorpio, I can go there, I can go and drag those demons out, give them a good beating. Whether they're the demons from the darkest recesses of your mind, from unhealed childhood trauma, or like PTSD, undiagnosed PTSD event. A lot of people's anxiety and paranoia and fear and depression comes from things that they experienced, that they have no idea. It might have just been completely innocent at the time. Well, not innocent, but where they overlooked it, not realizing that it is now the root cause of why they have the anxiety or the paranoia or the nightmares or the paranormal activity, like an accident, car accident. Oh yeah, when I was 18, I got hit by a car and broke my leg, and like everything was fine, like we were all fine, blah blah blah. And then like when they're 40, they're suddenly having nightmares and stuff, and it's all because they brushed off that experience, where if they look back now, they'll think, oh my God, like I've only just realised that if we hadn't have hit that car when we did, or if that car had have come in at a completely different angle, we wouldn't even be here by now. See, your conscious mind knows all that stuff. Your psychological mind, which rules logic, doubt, reason, compromise, that sort of thing, it remembers that sort of stuff. But the brain has an incredible way of protecting you from trauma. And children have an incredible ability of being able to block out trauma and not even remember it. And then these events happen later on in life where your psychological mind, your logical mind knows, well, he's got paranoia because of that, but your conscious mind and your psychological mind haven't connected the dots yet because there's an imbalance in the psychological mind. Because you've given over to fear and paranoia and anxiety, the logical part of your mind has been drowned out. So your conscious mind is screaming out to you in your dreams or in your anxiety or your nausea or the way that you jump every time you hear a noise and that sort of thing. Your conscious mind will know you're jumping when every time you hear a noise because it reminds you of the sound of when the two cars hit. And so now, age 40, someone slams the door, you jump, you don't know, oh God, I'm so jumpy, why? It's because you haven't dealt with the car accident. You didn't have the cry when you needed to cry. A lot of psychological trauma can be healed just by people allowing themselves to have a cry. Because it is strong minds that cry, which is why I cry all the time, because my mind it's titanium. My brain has this incredible ability to not accept a lie. I can't live a lie. I can't accept lies. I can't be around lies. My brain can't physically accept a lie. It's why I don't remember a lot of things if it wasn't true. If I'm not interested in learning it, if it has no consequence to me, if it's a lie, if it's not important for me to learn at that moment, I won't remember it. And I won't receive it because my brain, my DLPFC, must be the size of a watermelon by now because I can't live in a lie. When you have access to the creation frequency or the mind of God, when you have access to that, there's only truth and light there. You cannot live a lie standing in God's truth. It's physically impossible. It's psychologically impossible. That's why people hate me, because I immediately call them out on their bullshit. Because I can't be around that, because it's juxtaposed to my frequency and it becomes physically painful to me for me to be around lies. Like I get agitated and twitchy and short-tempered and I snap in that because I want to say to them, cut the bullshit out, like stop it. But social, but I don't now. I just tell people straight out, no, I'm not interested, or don't come at me with that, don't give me that drama, don't bring it to me. Well, the same thing goes with the paranormal and the supernatural. The paranormal is a lie because it's all perceived reality based on historical inaccuracies, based on what we were taught by our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents. History has taught us that the paranormal, it's a lie. They taught us all wrong because they didn't understand it, because they didn't understand God, because they even made up the Bible and got the Bible wrong. The stuff of the Bible that is real is 100% unadulterated supernatural awesomeness. The real God is so cool, it's unbelievable, and he doesn't he promotes witchcraft and prophecy and the occult his way, not religion's way or society's way. And that's what I teach. I teach the supernatural God's way, God's honest truth. So when I go to places where people are say, you know, oh, and this happened and that happened, I will immediately, no, that's not true. That's not what happened. And this is what happened. And then I'll investigate it and they'll go, oh my God, I, I didn't even see it like that. Or, oh my God, I had no idea. Or, oh my God, that makes so much sense. That's what everyone says to me. That's why every single person that comes to me for help says to me, oh my God, that makes sense now. That makes so much sense. Logic, doubt, reason, compromise. It's logical. Oh my God, that makes so much sense, because something making sense is logical. And having a logical mind, and having a mind that doubts things, and having a mind that's reasonable, keeps you balanced. And then your conscious mind is able to flow in with the truth. And then you retain it and you remember it, and it opens your mind, and then you heal. And so my shows will be going into these places and going, no, no, yep, this, but, this is blah, blah, blah. And like rearranging the jigsaw pieces into a puzzle, where when you look at it from the bigger picture, you're like, so it was a cow this whole time. All this time I thought it was a tractor and the Tower of London and a hedgehog, and this whole time it was a cow eating in a field with a hat on, like that sort of thing. Yeah. So that's why I'm so ready. I'm so ready to get out there. I want people to message me and say, can you come and tell me what's going on? Can you come and talk to my kids? Can you come to our school, our business, our blah, and tell us why this keeps happening? Because people who feed on the myth of the paranormal are feeding into darkness. They're feeding into mental health issues. They're feeding the demon trapped inside the minds of the people who react to it. Whereas the supernatural heals the demons. It gets rid of the skeletons in the closet. It clears out the clutter in your head. It makes you go to places you don't want to go, but in order to heal, you have to go there. If you want the paranormal activity to stop, if you're so afraid of the stuff that's going on there, everybody who has access to that building needs to look at themselves. And there's too many people in the world. So the only way I can do this is by making the shows and putting them up on TV and the radio shows. And then I can reach a wider audience. And that's what I'm aiming for next. So that's why I'm saying, if there's people out there in Yorkshire who have places they want me to investigate, or if there's anyone that wants to come along and be like my sidekick who can drive, I'm there. And then I'll start a whole new YouTube channel. And I don't know, maybe try and send some demo tapes to some TV channels and streaming services and say, would you be interested in putting my shows up? And take it from there. But I need a sidekick, and they need to know how to drive, and they need to be up for one hell of an adventure. Obviously, I can help pay for gas, and I would be supplying food, because you can't work with me and not get fed. But I think it's time. I think people are ready to heal now that the matrix is coming down and the truth is starting to come out about history, and you can clearly see the divide now between the old world and the new world. The two worlds are starting to break in half. Basically, once Trump and Starmer and that go, that's the great divide, and then the new world is born immediately after. Well, I'm taking the people with the healed mind into the new world, where the paranormal will not exist anymore. Because people, by watching me, by learning what I do, by understanding my science, as soon as they experience anything now, like you get a cough or a cold. Oh, I've got a cough. Immediately have lemon and honey, hot lemon and honey, right? People, oh, here to go, saw a spirit, saw that, oh, I know what to do, get the spray, get the this, say this, do that, boom, done. In the new world, people will heal the paranormal world as quickly and as easily and efficiently as they do a cough, cold, or flu. To the point where people don't even batter an eyelid now when they get a cough or a cold. Whereas, like 200 years ago, if people dropped dead from it or were paranoid of it, people will be like, oh, I saw someone walk past the door, spray, bloop, bloop, done. And then they won't need psychics, mediums, clairvoyants, anything like that. Oh, unless they want their future predicted or, be given spiritual guidance. They won't need it for any of the ghost haunting stuff because I would have taken care of it because that's my realms. That's my empire. Nobody else like me, baby. So, yeah, get my teeth fixed, get my sister dressing me up the way I want to look, get myself on the screen, put me up on the telly, and away we go. I just need a sidekick. I want a male sidekick. He needs to be male because it's not that I don't get on with women. I just get on better with men because men don't bring the drama and the bullshit the way that women do. Women always end up eventually being threatened by me or having an issue with something I've done or said or whatever. I get on with men better. I grew up with rugby players and soldiers in the army. Like my whole life was, and farmers in that, I grew up around all the boy stuff. My first best friend was a male. My best friends at high school were males. I just get on with them better. They don't bring as much drama and they're more fun to be around. My female friends are a specific kind of female, most of them Aries, because with an Aries, there's no bullshit with an Aries. An Aries woman, there's no bullshit. There's no, and that was my Amber. Aries, and my sister Erin, Aries. My dad was an Aries. My nephew Jacob, the one who's going to run my comic book and toy department, merchandise in there, he's an Aries. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to call my shows for now. I just call them Eye in the Sky. But it'll probably change because I'm being molded and shaped as I develop and grow and, but I'm Phoenix rising from the ashes now and I'm ready to spread my wings and show my glow. So we'll just see what happens. Right, I'm going to go and make some more candles now because that last one, my God, I can't believe how powerful that last one was. The one I designed for working on your confidence and your self-esteem. And if you have body dysmorphia and all that, work to treat. So I don't know. I'm thinking I might do one for spring, as in not the season spring, but the spring season, the regrowth, the rebirth, the new dawn, the phoenix rising. I've gone through my winter season. I've shed everything. I've mourned. I've grieved. I've gone there to the darkness, and now I'm sprouting. So I think I'll do a spring season phoenix rising candle, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm going to finish my breakfast, and I shall speak to you later. If you think you want to go on an adventure with me and you can drive, have a car, or you've got somewhere that I can investigate and I'm able to get to you, let me know because I want to turn this into a proper TV show, like with editing and credits and music and titles and advertising and marketing and everything like that. I'm ready to go because I can work around my stomach. You see, I need to be able to have a career in writing and science and all that where I can work around the damage my stomach took, and this allows me to work in my own time. I know how to work around my pain now. I know what to do, so I'm rearing to go. and then I can be my own independent woman, because that's what I want more than anything. I don't want to have to rely on anyone for me making my own money. I want to be able to, like, for example, I've run out of a whole pile of my oils. So there's a lot of candles and that I can't make because I no longer have the oils, but they're not cheap, but I can't afford to buy new ones. I want to be able to earn my own money, where if I run out of an oil, I can just order it. I want to be able to order like 10, 20, 30 at a go and not have to worry about the money. And I want to make my own incense. But with all the ingredients, I need the space, and I don't have the space. But I want to be able to make my own incense, like with my clays and my sprays and that, so that I can take them to these places and use them as part of the healing rituals that need to be done. But I need the space. I don't have the table space. I don't have the money for the ingredients, I need to be able to buy the sticks and the places, to make. I want to do the cones first and see how I go with the cones. And then when I'm confident, make the sticks, and then I can put them in the ground. Sometimes my neighbours see me walking around outside poking incense sticks into the ground, but it's because I'm doing like healing rituals and cleansing rituals to keep the neighbourhood safe, because we had a lot of drama here. We have a lot of drama here, as you know. So I protect the neighbours, and they don't know what I'm doing, but what I do works. So, so I'm going to go and finish my breakfast now and go back to, I'm going to make my Phoenix Rising springtime candle, and we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to the future. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do all the things that I was stopped from doing in the past because people forced me to feed on my fear. But they can't touch me now because I'm complete. I've healed all that. I understand how abuse and gaslighting and psychological abuse and that works now, because it's my science. I'm an ascension scientist. Like, I understand it all now. And now I'm ready to impart my wisdom onto everybody else. So we'll see where this goes. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō.